Okay, so in this video, we're actually going to go in depth into like kind of the value you're going to get from Yuji and Todo. I'm not going to lie, these kind of look to be just like top 3 units. Like they're probably not, they're pretty much guaranteed to be blue Yuta level or better. Yuji has the strongest ult in the game, DPS wise, and Todo just seems to be what you could consider a universal support in 2025. So we're going to get into that. Now, I do think that people maybe have the wrong understanding of this. Now, should these guys have been the headliners? Probably not. But we are pretty much guaranteed to at least get 2 more limiteds. Because guess what? First anniversary had Zone Yuji, Domain Gojo, Miguel, and Sukuna. So if we get like a unit that kind of people consider a throwaway, like Yuji, well, I on God, even if Yuji's really good, I kind of consider Yuji the Miguel of this anniversary, where it's like a throwaway, right? In terms of the likes, you could see it here. Todo is like hyper. Like if we're looking specifically quantitatively at likes, Todo has amassed more likes by about 4,000, which is kind of insane than Yuji. So people are more excited for the Todo, which me included. Todo looks to be fantastic. In this video, we're going to break down the kits and do all that. And I'm going to talk about the pull value. I'm going to make a more in-depth video, but I do think that I'm going to focus heavily on these 2 units so you guys could like understand why these are still very strong units, and maybe you might actually enjoy getting them. Now, keep in mind, you're also getting 20 free pulls for each banner, right? So both of those, I think Yuji gets 10 from login, 10 from codes. Todo gets 10 from missions, 10 from the event. And they're both released on the 21st. When can you expect them on global? Probably December 12th. Also, real quick, Todo and Yuji release on the same day, 21st at 2 a.m. EST. So I hope to see you guys there. I would really appreciate turning on notifs or liking the stream. I'm going to probably be doing some account giveaways and some actual monetary giveaways. So hope to see you guys there. I'll give more details soon. But we're going to go through all their kits. We're going to summon on them and showcase them live. So peep the stream, turn on likes, and I hope to see you guys there. Okay, now, if we're considering there's 2 other limiteds, most people are thinking a red Mahito and the last unit either like Maharaga, Sukuna, or Gojo. However, there's a possibility for 3 more limiteds. They could do part 2 to the anniversary, having another 2 limiteds, and then the last one on New Year's. He said there's going to be more units for anniversary, the developer, and also he confirmed that he talked about Jump Festa. So Jump Festa, we got Sukuna last year. So I think there's an existence of at least 2 more limiteds for anniversary, but we could maybe expect 3. So I just want to kind of preface that. These probably should have not been the headliners, but if we get Mahito, I think personally I'm going to be very happy that we get the 3 120% units. I just think Yuji's color is a bit unfortunate, but I also think they might make him just the best unit in the game. So thank you to Anime Ambu, or Jax, as you guys may know him, for getting this and just kind of clipping everything. Let's just kind of go into this. And I mean, we have, first of all, Yuji. So Yuji's first. We'll go into what he does, but we'll do that at the same time. So I'm going to give quick recaps, and then I'll give my full thoughts on why I think Yuji is just fucking insane. So Yuji has 2 modes. Nimble, basically, he dodges and get buffs. In Rampage, he does big damage, high chance to Black Flash, and then basically the more CE you have used, the bit stronger your ult is going to be. Now, essentially, he has this cursed energy count. This cursed energy count is basically built up in his Rampage mode only. And 175 CE is not as much as you think, considering you also get 5 cursed energy every turn with this guy. And imagine in sweep. Imagine in sweep, right? Kaido gives an extra 19 per turn, so you're going to be getting 34 cursed energy a lot of those turns. So building up 175 is not going to be hard, and in tower, unless like the CE resets after every ult, that's going to be a bit unfortunate. If it doesn't, this guy after like 10-ish turns is going to have that CE built up, right? As long as you go into Rampage right away. So for the nimble style, you see dodge, right? So like we see all that stuff. It's kind of funny Red Toto's there. I really do think in December, same as last year, we're going to get buff adjustments. Kit adjustments. So skill 1, skill 2 gives dodge, skill 3 gives taijutsu. So I think this is fine. And why I kind of like this, if we're being real, is, I mean, if you think about it, also the scar is so sick on his face. As you see, the CE did not build up on the count. What I really do like about it is that, well, if you need to survive in tower, maybe future floors or something else. And also damage reduction to an ally is very strong. If you need to survive in tower, you have his dodge mode, right? Now it seems there's a couple turns of build up, so maybe you don't use cursed energy for the first couple turns, up to you. But if you're with, and then you get ult gauge, look how, wait, what's his ult count? 1558 is pretty good, right? If you're gonna run like-minded sisters, it won't be that much. So I think he's gonna use, yeah, so he switches state, which does the ult change? I do wanna see that, sorry. So the ult doesn't seem to change. No, the ult stays the same, which is good. Now you see the skill 1 is 20 cursed energy now, then skill 2 and 3 are 30. Now, I think it's a fair assessment to compare him to Zonji. And Zonji, his skill 3 in that state is 680%. So this is something you could spam multiple times in the zone state. So I do think that we could expect something very similar with maybe a higher black flash rate, because, you know, black flash rate of 30 and 60 is like a bit low. But I definitely think that considering this guy has way more self buffs than Yuji from what we've seen, it's going to be better, because Yuji only has a 30% self buff, and then you have to use the skill 2, which isn't the best, right? You might use it once, but if you only spam the skill 3 with the break and everything, it's usually more recommended from what I've seen and from my own experience, especially getting the 10 out of 10 sweep and hard. But this guy could probably have very strong things. The confusion is kind of ass, right? I don't get why they have that, because confusion doesn't work like anywhere. I hate that. I hate that so much. So the skill 3 is 30, and what you're going to see is he has a black flash count, which might make him black flash more, and when you use 30 curse energy, look at the count. It's going to go up to 30. So you see right there, it goes up to 30. So I just want to make sure that's understood. And then afterwards, something we have to keep in mind. So he does that. That's cool. He gets taijutsu, and look, he gets 5 CE every turn, which is very good. I do want to skip to the ult, so maybe he has a good break damage, but it's not like we're really gonna know. So then his ult, right? They don't use the rec bit, but and look, he's at 100 cursed energy. Very cool ult. I think this is definitely the best animated ult. Some people didn't like it. I like it, so, you know, I'm chilling. If you don't like it, it's completely fine. Now, what is very strong is that with 175 cursed energy, once you reach that 175 cursed energy count, you could get up to a 2100% taijutsu. So this is insane. I mean, this is definitely insane, because the only other 2 units that have 2000 is these 2. And Hollow Purple could only use it once, and Muta has to build it back up, right? He has to build it back up. Now, I don't know if we see it. Let's try. Yeah. So after he ulted, he's at 100. No, wait. He was at 100 before, I think. Was he at 100 before? Yes. So he did not lose his cursed energy count after ulting, which means you're going to keep that 20, unless they change it or like something's different, right? Assuming this, once he gets to 175 cursed energy, he's going to keep ulting at 2100%. Now, why is this crazy? So there's a kind of a track record with a lot of the Yujis, at least that like focus on black flashing. I don't know about red Yuji, but let's pull him up. Blue Yuji is kind of a whatever. I do want to kind of point this out, guys. So if we check Zone Yuji, the anniversary unit, his ult is a 3.5 times multiplier for the Black Flash. Green Yuji's is 100 and 200%, but you have to realize he also has Black Flash damage increase. So this is even higher. And Red Yuji is a bit lower, but he is the oldest unit, so I think we could kind of attribute it to that. But the 2 that have either gotten buffs or are just anniversary level have insane Black Flash damage. So what happens when you have an ult that's higher than Blue Yuta's, stays at 2100%, already the highest in the game, and it has a multiplier higher than Blue Yuta's crit damage, and I think it has to be guaranteed, right? It's just, I think we all agree Yuji has guaranteed Black Flash on ult, right? It's just kind of a thing, right? So because of that, like, yeah, it's a Black Flash, okay, it's a Black Flash. So it's like, considering this, he's a 2100% ult, where Zonji on his ult without a rec bit at 1500%, right? Lower damage by 600. Already does 15 million for me, at least. It could do 15 to 20 mil without rec bit. Now add 600%, make that 2100 with the same Black Flash and a rec bit for the ult. How much damage is this going to do? Like, genuinely, I think we're going to reach like 30 to 40 million with ease on this. So I'm very excited, because Blue Yuta could reach about 30 million if you do a nuke. Zonji, 120% Yuji is 300% higher and might have better Black Flash damage than Yuta's crit damage, which multiplies in the same way, right? So yeah, this guy's going to be insane. I think we could all agree he's going to be insane. 2100% ult is ridiculous. So I'm extremely excited. And he also gets a buff. He does get a buff. So maybe after ulting the first time, he's going to get even stronger. We don't know what exactly it is, but I am very excited, that's for sure. So Yuji, let's talk about his value. Should you summon for him? I think it is fine to skip. He's going to be number 1 in the game or number 2. I don't even have a doubt about it in my mind. The thing is, guys, you have 2 perfectly good units right now, right? So for a lot of free-to-plays, it's just not worth it when Red Yuji, well, the Nimble Yuji and Red Toji are both still fantastic. Red Toji is still top of the game. Amazing, works everywhere, can clear all the taijutsu content. So for right now, if you're not some like pay to win, I do not think you should be going for Red Yuji. However, what is good to note, right, is that you're going to be getting 20 pulls for each banner, right? So that means you still have a chance, even if you don't summon, to do 20 pulls. And if you're a low spender, maybe you put cubes into Todo and like slowly do your daily pulls on Yuji, and maybe you get Yuji. And if you don't, then that's fine. Right, there's going to be more anniversary units that are probably higher value. So for right now, because he's red taijutsu, I don't think it's worth it. If he was red jujutsu, it would have been so worth it. But red taijutsu is just so stacked right now, especially because of the fact that Nanami, right? What's really great is Nanami alongside his I will follow you, Mr. Nanami rec bit, which is just like, it's about him, right? This is such a good combo, right, for taijutsu, because he could give an extra 60% consistent crit while getting extra crit rate, which helps Nanami get extra crit rate and CE. So it kind of works well to where Nanami is like increasing taijutsu by a lot with this rec bit by 60% taijutsu for the whole team. So it's very strong, right? So Yuji's great. Problem is he's just not needed. So I think you're fine to skip Yuji, especially because you're only getting him on the 12th. So we might get another 1 or 2 limiteds revealed by then. And I think that for most people, he's going to be a skip, which is fine, right? He's kind of, like I said, the Miguel of this year, but just really strong. That's kind of it. I just don't think many people are hyped, but if you're hyped, keep in mind he is number 1 and he is worth it. If you're like a low spender pay to win, you could definitely do your daily pulls and you're probably going to pull him, right? You're just probably going to pull him. Now, Todo. That's fucking, yo, I love, Todo is so sick. He genuinely looks to be fantastic. And I truly do mean fantastic. This guy is really nice. Now, also, by the way, they put this rec bit on Yuji, which means this is probably some alt rec bit, and I'm really hoping it's amazing because I would like a rec bit to be good on the limited banners and not on some rerun banner like with the yellow Shoko and the Jujutsu Like-Minded Sisters version, right? So if it's on this banner, considering it's on both banners and they're giving 40 free pulls, and those 40 pulls, you have a decent chance to pull that rec bit, so I do hope it is good, right? I do like that it's the same rec bit on both and they give you 40 free pulls. So before we go into what he does, or his kit and showcase, let's just go over what he does in the kit. So over here, giving allies best friend status, an attacker with taijutsu buff, black flash buff, and critical rate buff for the team, or probably just like the best friend unit specifically. This is really good for so much of the game. Now, he could also follow up and counter with best friend. It does seem like the counter is only for the person behind him, but we're gonna have to see more on that. And then give self climax jumping status with ultimate and enhanced skill effect. This also seems to put a song on. So if you want to see him ult and like hear the song, I'm going to link this down below. If I forget, please remind me. But he plays a song. So I think Todo is a very high quality anniversary unit in terms of just, there's a song for him in game, which is very cool. Robin had that in Star Rail, right? I think it was Robin, which I like when they do that. And Todo just seems fucking amazing. And he has a revive. Why is that revive good? Well, wait, pause. No. Is it on the rec bit? I think it might be on the rec bit. Let me just make sure I'm not tweaking, but I think it's on the rec bit. I don't use this rec bit, but I remember I had to read it. Please tell me it's not here. Yeah, okay. So it gives him revival status. Unfortunate. So Todo probably is just going to be that guy, that sub DPS. Taijutsu buff, which is great for a lot of things with that crit and black flash. So if we go off of this real quick before we start the showcase, guys, he's going to be good with so many units. It's not even a joke. Right, so if we check it out, let's just kind of go through. So he's going to be good with Zonji, right? For new players, I think getting Zonji in total is like the 3 units you're going to want to target right now is probably Blue Yuta, Zonji, Todo, right? I think if Zonji gets a rerun, that's the goal. Because Todo is going to help Yuji Black Flash more and give the Taijutsu buff. So if you don't have Yellow Shoko, then Todo is going to be a good replacement, right? I think Todo is going to work better than Red Yaga, obviously, right? So it's going to work with Zonji, even off color. And for new players, or like even before like floor 80, it's going to be good. And in normal sweep, it's going to be good, right? So I think for you, like kind of new players, Todo is a fucking fantastic pickup. Even for Yuta, right? He gives Kure and Taijutsu. So if you need a Taijutsu blue unit, guess what? Yuta works extremely well because his skill 3 is a 630% multiplier, which is so incredibly high, right? He obviously works for green Yuji. He's going to be amazing for green Yuji. He's going to work for red Yuji if you really need it. And then the Tojis too. He also works with the Tojis, which you have to keep in mind, right? Because red Toji, well, guess what? He wants to crit to get the taijutsu buff on his own, and then also be able, if you have like-minded sisters, get ult quicker. And same with this Toji, he does want to crit because of the crit damage. So even if they don't have Black Flash, it's still good for them because they want to crit. So because of this, he's going to be a universal taijutsu buffer, right? So this is very cool. Now, I mean, I think we could expect he's universal, but we're gonna see, right? I'm gonna translate it in a second. But he gives this best friend buff, and that just looks like a normal buff. But I'm gonna go in with Shoko just to make sure to see, right? Now, there's one problem. I could be completely off with this universal thing because you can't tell the difference between these, right? Oh no, actually you can. Hold on, no, I'm tweaking. So basically, no, am I? No, yeah, there's no difference. So this is Yaga's buff, and this is Shoko's. So like it doesn't show anything different, right? So it's kind of hard to see. So we don't know if Todo only activates it with green units. So it's hard to say, but I think because they like, listen, I just want to make sure it's understood, right? They don't specify, right? It just give allies best friend status and attacker with taijutsu, black flash, and crit rate support. So it doesn't specify mono green support. So I think for right now, going under the understanding that it's universal taijutsu buff means he's going to be very good overall. If it's only green, I think his value decreases heavily, but he's still going to be very strong. But I think we all understand that for a lot of players, having him be universal is going to be very strong for all your taijutsu units, right? And especially if you're starting during anniversary, you get Todo, you get Yuta, who is the third? Zonji, right? If he comes back, and suddenly yellow, blue, green all have Todo for blue floors, and you're going to be good for tower. You're going to be good for sweep on all those colors, right? So I just want to make sure that's clear. So yeah, Todo is looking very good. So that's a follow-up, and you can see there. Let's go check what it says, right? Let's go check. Let's take a little peek at what exactly the translation goes to. Unfortunately, because well, I don't speak Japanese. So individual skill up, best friend, right? So that's for taijutsu. And, you know, then he gets a counter and he puts confusion, which isn't really that big. But when he counters, he gives crit rate, which you need crit rate to be able, like, if you don't crit, you won't Black Flash. So you first need to crit to be able to then proc Black Flash. So giving crit is good for every Black Flash unit, and of course, even crit units like Tojis, right? And then for someone like Red Yuji, I mean, sorry, specifically the Nimble Yuji, the old one, he wants to crit and Black Flash, so it's good. Now, for the new Red Yuji, if you happen to pull the new Red Yuji off the tickets, Todo could still work early on, right? Obviously, tower over 80, Todo's not going to work besides green, but, like, I mean, that's kind of just how it is now. So it's like, I'm still bringing up that I know not everyone's at 80, right? I don't know everyone's going past that. So for people not there yet, it's good. And it does seem like he only has one counter, I think. But it's hard to tell. Now, he did give himself taijutsu, so this guy's going to be doing his own damage for sure with the follow-up too. Then when there's a Black Flash, look at this. Look what Todo's follow-up does. He does the T-pose. So, and then he has that cursed ass face, and he gets a Black Flash. So I don't know if it's guaranteed, but he gets a bunch of Black Flash buffs, which it seems like a Black Flash count or something. And then he also gets taijutsu buffs. So very good, very strong. That follow-up seems to be quite nice. So you're going to definitely want more so to build them with units that have Black Flash. So keep that in mind for sure, especially with green Yuji. It's going to be very strong. We don't necessarily see Todo give the Black Flash buff, but I think the Black Flash buff is in the best friend buff. So it's hard to say because it's in the state buff. You know why that's so fucking good? State buffs cannot be nerfed. So this best friend buff, right? The one that like we could go to Red Todo. This best friend buff won't be nerfed because it's a state and it's inside this. If anything inside this would not be nerfed, right? So we'll need to see. But if there is the taijutsu buff and a Black Flash buff inside that best friend buff, that won't be nerfed, which is insane, right? Because it only nerfs like the buff if it's a turn buff itself, right? So then Todo does a follow-up. I think it's guaranteed. I genuinely think it's guaranteed, and that makes sense because it's probably only going to be for the best friend that you're going to be doing that follow-up. And he gives taijutsu there, and then he gives crit rate. So it seems that a follow-up gives taijutsu buff, and a counter gives crit rate. So I think that's definitely important to note. Then the skill 3 afterwards, well, I guess it confuses. I kind of like it. And then he gives himself crit rate and more crit rate. Like, bro's going to be doing some insane shit. Unfortunately, Yuji is a fraud there, and he didn't have his zone state up, I think. So it's like, it's a pretty bad showcase because it's hard to show it when Zone G isn't really doing too much. Now, then he ults, right? Did he put this in the wrong order? I don't even know. But after this, it would play a song, right? So a lot of hits is good to get like a guaranteed, like at least a crit, right? So I don't know if they, I'm pretty sure after this they showcase more, but I'm not sure. Do they? Huh. I swear they did more. I guess this part of the showcase, I think he put it in the wrong order. Yeah, because this was afterwards, I think. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I think we do get the gist of it, essentially, right? What he's doing, follow-up, if the best friend does a black flash, then he does a follow-up black flash with the T-pose. So, yeah, Todo's going to be very strong. And also, it's pretty much, he's going to be such a good unit for 88. Right now, the two most difficult floors are 86, 88. Right now, I'm stuck, oh, I'm still in here. Right now, I'm stuck on 86. Personally, I'm on 86. I was hoping that part 1 of Anniversary would give us a Jujutsu red DPS so that 86 could actually be manageable. But they don't. So I'm going to have to do this on my own time, unfortunately, is what it is. I'm just going to have to build up the red Jujutsu team a bit more. And then it's fine. It's fine. I'll live. But 88 is another blocker. And also for sweep, right? Green Taijutsu and sweep is better than Jujutsu for the simple reason that they like actively were trying to nerf green Jujutsu, because this boss has a thing where he lowers the enemies, or lowers our Jujutsu by 20% with the debuff on some turns, which means that they basically made it like so obvious that Anniversary was going to have a green Taijutsu unit. So surprise, we got green Todo for Taijutsu. And then he's going to make green Yuji really good, making him Black Flash more, giving him the stats, which probably does mean that you're not going to run Shoko. Like, realistically speaking, you're probably going to be running... like the team would be green Yuji, obviously. It would be Choso. Oh, Choso. Then it would be Teen Ghetto. Now, because you don't have a healer, I think you just run healing rec bits on like Ghetto and maybe even Choso. And why I think that's going to be fine is because Toto's going to bring the damage up so much, you won't need as many DPS rec bits, if that makes sense, right? If Toto's bringing up the damage, you can make sure you stay alive with your rec bits, and then afterwards, it kind of equalizes, right? And becomes easier in a way, right? So that's going to be very strong. I do think that's going to be very strong. Toto definitely seems like, out of the two, the better pick, right? If you're going to summon on one, I think Toto is by far the better pick for sure. Long-term supports just stay longer, and I mean, anytime there's going to be a Taijutsu unit for new players, always Todo is going to be really good. As long as you're not past floor 80, he's going to have value, even in sweep, right? Because keep in mind, red Yaga is used off color in blue sweep. Todo can easily be used off color, right, in sweep. And for sure is going to be better than red Yaga for Taijutsu units, right? So even in red sweep, like, you could make the argument that if you're using Toji, maybe you run Todo because he's going to give crit rate. And if you're running, for example, well, actually, you wouldn't use a Taijutsu unit, but like if you're running solo Todo or solo Yuji, sorry, solo Todo or solo Toji, I'm mixing up the names. If you run solo Toji or solo red Yuji, nimble Yuji, either or, right? Either red Yuji, either Toji. One of these two units, Todo's still going to be really good because they both profit from crits, and nimble Yuji specifically profits from black flashes too. So I think Todo, if he is universal and isn't restricted to mono, if he's restricted to mono, I'm going to be so sad, genuinely. I think we haven't gotten that, because usually they say if a unit is mono, which they haven't said that yet. So let's hope for the best for Todo. And I think he will be actually really good. If you're going to summon for one of these two, I think Todo has a lot of value. Yuji less. I think it is better for you guys, in my opinion, to save. But anyway, guess what? December 12th is when you're probably getting these guys. And what does that mean? Well, that means that these units are going to be out. We might even get a third limited unit, and even maybe a fourth by that time announced. So because of that, you're going to know pretty much a lot more details than right now. So I think it's fine, like, to kind of be safe with your cubes for a bit and wait to see what these guys do. I think Todo is pretty much guaranteed to be one of the more must summon units in this game, while red Yuji is more of a bleh unit. Like, he's gonna be good, just not needed. So I think these were, honestly, I'm very excited for these units, if I'm being honest. Red Yuji just seems to be fantastic. And Todo, red Yuji seems to be so broken, right, with 2100% ult, and Todo seems to be probably like the actual first non-mono support in this game in 2025, which, yes, obviously there's less value for them now, but still, I mean, he's gonna work in hard sweep for sure. I'm gonna try it in my showcase. We're gonna see that on the 21st. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.